Hi there, my name is Dries from UniHosted, and I will show you how to migrate all of your UniFi devices to a new UniFi controller. So in this guide I have two UniFi controllers open at the moment. On the left side it is my old controller, or the controller that we are gonna migrate all the devices from. And on the right side of the video there's the new controller that's running on UniHosted, and this is the controller where we migrate the devices to. So first you have to know one thing, and that's basically that there are two ways to export the devices on a UniFi controller. The first is a side export, and the second is a backup. The side export is actually the one that you should use. And that's because you have more control over the devices you're going to export. And the problem with a backup is that the backup will just export all of your sites. So if you're going to import the devices in your new controller, you can import a site export multiple times, but you can only import a backup once. So that is why I would go for the site export, and that's also what we're going to do in this video. So let's head over to the old UniFi controller on the left side of the screen. And we're going to, so as you can see is that we have one access point, and we're going to settings and then click on system, and then we're gonna hit export site. So it says download the site export file, and that's what we're going to do. So now we downloaded the site export file. We're going to head over to the new UniFi controller, and it's on the right side of the screen. And what we're going to do is first make sure that multi-site is enabled. So if you go to settings, go to system, and then go to site management, there's this option called multi-site management. Make sure that it's enabled, otherwise you will only have one site. And then this button, the site switcher, will not be visible. So enabled, and you will see the site switcher be there. So if we click on add site, I always recommend on creating a new site and not using the default site. So the problem is with the default site is that you can't remove it, and it has some special rights in the UniFi system. So I would recommend not using the default site at all. What we're going to do now is add new and then import site. So here we're going to select the site export we just made. So import site, click on site export, and upload. So it's uploaded successfully. Sometimes it will complain about the UniFi version that you're running, and if the UniFi version of your old controller is more recent than the controller that you're migrating to, then you have to migrate the controller that you're migrating to the most to the newest version. So we will give the site a name here, and that is like let's call it migrated site. So we're going from demo site to migrated site. And let's go click on add. You can give it any name you want. And then if we go to the site switcher, we have the migrated site over here. If we go to UniFi devices, you will see that the access point is actually there, but it is offline. And that is because the access point doesn't know that we migrate, or that we are migrating to a UniFi controller. So it is still talking to the old UniFi controller. And UniFi made it actually easier, because if you click on continue, it will say to migrate your site, go into your new network application, select import, that's what we did, then upload the site file, and if you click on continue again, it will prompt you with a selection of devices that you can migrate to the new controller. So this is really important that you don't make any mistakes here, because if you make a mistake, the device will not migrate to your new controller, and there's also a chance of losing the device. Like probably it will go back to the old controller if there's an error, but it is important to double check these values. So it's HTTP, and then we're gonna enter the host name, and the host name of the new controller, so in this case it is 120.unifi.unihosted.com, and it's on port 8080, that's correct, and then /inform, you can't change that, and we want to move over that one access point. So let's hit migrate devices, and then it will say that this will remove the device from an old controller, and that's exactly what we want. So remove device, remove. And then if we go to new controller on the right side of your screen, you see that status of that access point is getting ready, and that's actually good news. So this will take a few minutes. Maybe it will ask you to update the device again. But this is actually it. You can also check if the settings are also there, and like on the previous controller or the old controller, we had this network called demo network. It's also showing right here. So that went well. And if you have like this advanced configuration with VLANs and everything, this will also move over. So that is how you migrate all of your UniFi devices within a site to a new UniFi controller, and this is the way that I would recommend it.